Hey everyone, and thank you for joining us for summer 2021 webinar series on market alerts for leasing and sales, building surveys, and buy-side watch list. We're going to get started here in just 1 minute. You're in listen only mode. That means I want to hear you. I just unfortunately won't be able to hear you. So please type your questions, comments, or anything else in the questions section. That way I can answer them for you as we go through here. I'm going to try to go as slow as I can and annotate as I go across. I also wanted to do a little quick poll, and I just kind of want to see what is your specialty for commercial real estate. Are you sales, leasing, tenant rep? Are you a do-it-aller? Executive management, marketing, and support? Just gives me a little bit of insight to who's coming to our webinars and how we can gear some of our webinars and presentations coming out. So looks like the votes are kind of coming in here, and if you want to follow along, just go to realnext.com and you can follow along. This will be recorded and be on the RealNext YouTube, so you can access this anytime, any place, anywhere, typically within a few days. But if you don't see it right away, please don't holler. We'll get it up as soon as we possibly can. So for this, we're going to be primarily focusing on marketplace. So we can just, excuse me, just log into realnext.com right through here through your web browser or any other mobile device that you're on. Now mine's going to go ahead and default me right into marketplace. If you want to access marketplace, you're going to be able to hop right over here to that hamburger in the left-hand side. Go ahead and click that. It's going to expand the toolbar, and you're going to want to go to property search. Everybody should have access to the property search toolbar. So let's talk a little bit more about what we want to do for on-market alerts and why do we want to do them, and why do we create surveys, and how do I do a buy-side watch list? So the alerts are fantastic. If you ever search for a piece of property and maybe no results found, or you want to keep up to date with what's happening as a leasing agent, those are some of the things that might be important to you. And those on-market alerts, as well as the surveys, are going to help you with that. So for this case here, we're going to pick maybe for sale. Maybe we want to go through a property type. We'll say industrial. I'll just click on here, industrial. I have an industrial buyer that is looking for industrial property, and we're going to say they're going to be down in my good buddy in Florida here. So it looks like my good buddy Darren Thomas is on here, industrial in Florida. If you want to narrow down any criteria, maybe there's a certain cap rate or a certain price or building size, all this criteria that you put in here is going to allow you to narrow down that search criteria. So I'm going to get a tremendous amount of availabilities on here because I'm doing industrial in Florida. Maybe you want to do industrial cold storage, and that's going to give you less, but you can just add those fields down in here. Now, down at the bottom, there's going to be a section in here, and hopefully everybody can see it, that's going to say apply, clear, and save. So apply is going to allow you to get that search. So let's go ahead and hit that apply button real quick. And again, if you're following along at home, that's great. We're going to hit apply here. And what it's going to do is now it's going to zoom into Florida and it's going to pull up those properties for me. Now I have over 500 plus, so I'm going to probably want to narrow this down even more. So maybe I want to pick a city inside of Florida, or we work just like other map systems where the more I zoom in, the lower that number is going to go. So if you're a certain area and maybe you just want something in Orlando, you can just go back in and type into Orlando, or pick a different city if you're obviously in a different city here. So this is going to go ahead and give me quite a few properties, 240 of them. Now you can go back and you can click that search listings button again. So we'll go back in here, we'll click search listings button again. And now we can narrow down that criteria if we want to. Now for time's sake, I'm not going to, but let's assume that we have a client that is looking for industrial property and they're looking between 1 and 5 million, and their size is going to be 10 to 15,000 square feet. You can put all that information in there, and to create an alert, what it's going to do is right now we have 240 properties. Say we had 2 properties, no properties, or 100 properties. This can be done on a couple ways. if I have a property for sale and I want to be aware of other properties that pop up on the market that are similar to that, I can go ahead and hit that save button in that lower left-hand corner. And I can put on this industrial Florida current listing, or I can put in this is going to be, you know, and I'm going to pick on you here, Darren. This is going to be the Darren Thomas. Maybe you want to put in your client's name, because this is going to kind of talk to you about maybe the client that's looking for a certain property. Or maybe this is going to be an on-market lease. So you're a tenant rep and you want to keep track of what's on market and what's available and what the rates are. Or you manage an industrial building as a landlord broker and you want to keep track of what's lease rates are out there and stuff. You can do that. Now you're going to have two options. Now you can check both options if you want. One is going to be notifying you of when a new listing matches the search. The other one is when it's updated. Now, sometimes people go ahead and just update a listing and don't really update it, meaning they just click update, they change the I to an I and save it, right? So an I to an I, they're really not doing anything. They just want to make sure it doesn't fall off. So sometimes that'll give you more than not. We're working on some other features in here that'll limit some of that. But really what I like to do is just check the box, notify me of new listings when on market. So I can come in here and I can say notify new listings, and I can go ahead and save that. And now that's going to notify me. Well, how do I get notified? Well, you're going to get notified in a couple ways. One, I don't know if you've noticed this before in our program, but you're going to have a section over here where you see a little bell. So if you're looking here in the center of the screen, follow my mouse. Ooh, there you go. That's going to hit the bell. Now, you're going to get notified in two ways in this. One is you're going to get an email digest of those properties that are on there that match your saved search criteria. The other way you're going to get notified is right here. So these tell you a bunch of things. I had a document viewed in my deal room. My website was viewed, okay? I e-published this one for a property here, or a deal room login again. This is going to give you all your notifications that are in here, and you can simply just delete the notifications out that you want. But again, this is where your notification would come into play for that property. So if you're working a buy-side deal for a client and you put that search criteria in there, and again, depending on how many results, 1, 100, or 0, it'll actually notify you anytime that a like property that matches that criteria. And again, you can choose how much information you put in from that left-hand side. If anybody has a hard time following along, you can always just go right over to guide me in the upper right-hand corner and click on that. And you can go ahead and click Marketplace Search panel, and it's going to walk you through the search panel and what to do right inside that search panel right there. So again, depending on what you're doing, sales or leasing, you're going to use this Save Search for different purposes with that. Now, what if we go ahead and we do a search and we're working with a client and we want to build a survey? So we want to get a market survey going. Well, that's an easy process right in here as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to define our search criteria. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create what we call a watch list. Okay, now there's a couple ways we can create a watch list depending on how you do things. You can go ahead and you can come over to this watch list section over here, and we can click on watch list right here. So what's a watch list? This watch list here is an area where maybe we're getting, like here, on market comps, or here's our different clients. This is going to be an area where we can group those properties. So a watch list is basically just going and grouping those properties. So we can come over here and we can say add new, and we'll say add new group, and this is going to be this is going to be the webinar group, and you got to type better than I do, webinar group, and we're going to hit save. And now we can go ahead and we can select which ones we want to have in that webinar group. We can just drag them and drop them. So real easy, just drag and drop the ones we want in there. So again, this group can be done for multiple purposes. This group can be used for buy-side deals. So we want to put together a buy-side opportunity package that we can send to our client and email it to them. This can also be done to create our surveys. This can also be done to create information like lease comps and on-market comps that we want to have on there. So you can go ahead and you can drag and drop. You can select them and say add to watch list by clicking watch list, and we'll add them all. And just come down here and we'll figure out which one we want. We'll say webinar group, add to watch list, and it adds those to the watch list. Now, you can do a couple things. One is if you're creating a survey, maybe you want to email that link or email it to yourself, take the link out, and using our CRM program, you can make a beautiful email tying that link in there. You can also email it directly out of here, or if you want, you can take any of these deals if it's for a buy side and you can say CRM, send to CRM program, and it's going to take the property information out, not the owner information, but the property information out, and it will populate it in here. So now you can keep track of any properties that are on market for on market sale comps, lease comps. Maybe you want to have in here, you know, a section of properties that you're working with clients on, so they're right into here. So that'll populate that information right back into CRM for you. So you have the ability to keep track of it in a watch list in the listing side, but you can also add it back into your CRM program. So it gives you two options there. One is you can tie it back in for on-market comps, as well as keep track of what's going on in the market, or for a watch group. Now, inside of those watch groups, you can do a couple different things. If you click on those three little dots, it's going to allow you to do a few different options. One is we can go ahead and we can say select all, and that's going to check all of them. And then we can say email selected or print selected. So maybe we want to print out a list like this, and let's just do a single photo on here. Actually, let's do a map and a list. And I can create the report, and we're going to create the report for Cedric. And Cedric, and then we're going to put no last name. I don't want to put Cedric on blast out there. We do not want to display the commission on there, but we do want to include your information on the report, and I can say create report, and now it's going to create that report for me. So now I have a list of all those properties on there, and I have my information in here. So now I can take this out, and it maps all those properties that I had there in my watch list, and you can see the building size, square feet, and so forth. You can also say select all, and you can go ahead and you email select it. Now, a lot of our clients will send them directly to themselves. They'll take the link out, and then using the CRM, you can come in here to the CRM side of things, and you can create a nice little beautiful template right in here under Real Campaigns. And as you do so, and you watch our videos, you know, here on out, you can go in here and create your own little template and add your link right into there, and you can email it out there, and it tracks your opens and clicks and so forth. You can add the subject in here. You can BCC yourself, and they're going to go ahead and get a nice little digest. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my email address here. And again, hopefully you type better than I do. And I'm just going to put in here sent mailer, none, and this is going to go ahead and send me an email, and I'll show you what that email looks like here as soon as I receive that email. So one is you can email it out to your clients directly from here. Two, you are going to have the ability to email it to yourself. You can also go ahead and you can add that information back in your CRM system. Now, if you don't want to check them all, you can go back through and you can individually check each one you want, and that's going to go ahead and tie them on there. And again, if you want to remove them, you can remove them from that list as well. Just go ahead and you select them and you say remove selected, and remove those ones for the selected side. So again, you might want to create a buy side watch list. So I'm going to create a buy side watch list for Darren. I'm also going to create an alert for Darren. That way, if something comes on board, and I'm going to say, hey, Darren, I'm looking for properties for you, buddy. I got you. I have alerts through RealNext Marketplace. I have a watch list of the properties we're working on, and I have everything tracked back in my CRM, so I can go ahead and keep track of that. So you're going to be 100% well taken care of when it comes across there. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I'm good enough here where I can go back in and check my email, and I'll be getting that email from RealNext here in just 1 second. And let's see here if I can go ahead and find my email stuff. Doesn't look like I see it yet, but it'll come across here. I have 409 emails in this section, and some other ones in here, so I'm sure it will come across here in a second. Once we go ahead and see that email, I'll make sure that I pull that email up for you. But again, that's something really simple to do. You search the listing information you want, you come down here to the bottom and you hit save, and you get notified when those are on there. Now, if you do have a safe search and you're like, Matt, I don't want, here it is, here's our marketplace mailer. So now I'm going to come down here, I'm going to say download pictures, properties of interest in here, and view the properties. And now what it's going to do is it's going to open those properties up for me, and it removed the listing broker information off. And now I have those properties that I can see. I can even see them on a map if I want to see them on a map. And I can view the listing, attachments, and so forth. So again, you can do that. You can do, instead of it having an email like this, I know some people make some really beautiful templates you can have. Just add that link inside the template section in there for that. Now, what if you created a watch list or a safe search and you want to edit or change those? You can come up here and you can click watch list or save search, either one of those. And we're going to hit save search in this case. And you're going to have a toggle button. And that toggle button is either going to be on or off. And we're just going to take this on or off. So here, these are my watch lists here. They're all off. If you want to change them or edit the criteria, you can edit criteria, and it's going to allow us to pull up to edit that criteria again. So again, we can manage all our watch lists here, or our save searches here. And then if we click on watch list, we can manage all our watch lists right in here. And it shows you how many emails you sent, and if you need to delete them, you can delete them. And these will be your watch list as we kind of go through that portion there. It seems that there's very few leases, properties for lease. Depends on what area it is. So we're 100% organic. Some areas you're going to see heavily populated leases, and other areas you're going to see not so populated. And the best thing to do is to start adding your leases in there and telling everybody that they can add their information to our listing site to have it more populated. We do not have a research arm, so we're not going out researching the properties, and we're not scraping other listing sites to bring in our properties. And one, that's going to keep us out of trouble, and two, we find out we have the most accurate information that is out there. Now, that is what I hear from our clients. That is not a statement from RealNext. That's just what I hear from folks, is that the information is accurate because it's broker powered, and it's not scraped or brought in from other websites that are out there, the information. So some areas are heavily populated, some areas aren't. We're working with different areas like CCIM or different communities in different states and cities to bring in listings. So we're making everything aware. But you don't see us promoting this. This is not something we're actively engaging everybody in as our full-time portion, and it's rapidly growing. So we put a lot of our time back in development and marketing the other portions of the program, and this is getting organically built. And again, word of mouth is going to kind of get us there. And you can see, you know, I know Darren, when he came in here in Florida, maybe had, you know, 3 properties, and now look how many properties Florida has. And it just takes a little bit of word of mouth and people to help us out there. And we appreciate you putting the good word out there and telling everybody to populate that information, so folks like Ron can take advantage of some of the information that's out there. And again, take advantage of the integrations where it has the ability to tie back into CRM, to create that watch list, to create those market surveys, so each and everybody can manage their clients and let them know, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Right now, I just got a little notification right here, and a real campaign opened. So one of my emails that I sent out, someone opened. So those notifications are great. They tell you about opens for real campaigns. They tell you about alarms you have going off. They tell you when someone viewed your profile. And they'll tell you how to do all that right inside the program. And you know, we're going to continue to make the program better, easier, and more efficient. If there's an idea you have in the upper right-hand corner, let us know something we can do to improve our program. Or if we're doing a great job, let us know that as well. Sometimes we don't hear that we're doing a great job as much as we would like. Everybody coming on this, we appreciate you coming on here. Does anybody have any questions? I know I got some questions throughout the meeting. Real quick, how to create a watch list, how to create a market survey, how to create alerts when new properties available for lease or for sale come on the market. We also have a section in here, investment wanted and space wanted. So maybe you're a landlord broker and you want to put one on there for, you know, space wanted. So when someone needs a space, they come up and get notified of it. Darren, you don't have any questions? Rick, Vladimir, Debbie, Michaela, anybody? All right, well, hopefully this was educational. If this was educational for everybody, let me know. Say, look, this was fantastic. We appreciate it. If there's anything anybody wants to see and go in depth more of, maybe how to use Marketplace more efficiently, or how to add your listings in there quicker, faster, and easier. It integrates with the CRM, it integrates with Market Edge. Let us know. I mean, these webinar presentations are for you. So if there's anything you want to see, you email me, msmith@realnext.com. You email info@realnext.com. Let us know what we need to be doing. We're here to help you. If nobody else has any more questions, let's kind of end the presentation here today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope you have a great Wednesday, and we'll see everybody soon. Thanks everybody for coming on.